the end of that music means we are ready for another session of Trade Masters. Trade Masters is a show where two experienced traders come, they do battle, they bring their best trade setups. Now, these trade setups can be investments, and my cat is definitely thinking that she is a trade master here. They can be investments, they can be short-term trades, they can be cash flow trades, they can be directional opportunities. And what I love about this show is I get to sit back and I get to judge, right? I get to determine the winner. Of course, I like that. But more importantly, in my trades, I kind of think of this as a midweek scouting report, a show where I can come get trade setups, get ideas, several that I've done since we've started Trade Masters. And I'm always excited when other people do my work. And we have with us tonight, Emily, Victor, reigning champ at Trade Masters from last week. Emily, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Mark, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you very much, Emily. And then we got three-time. We've only been doing this about 6 weeks, and Tyler's won 3 of them. But he lost a couple weeks ago. But he's back to try to regain the belt. Are you hungry, Tyler?
Oh, it's on like Donkey Kong. Sorry, Emily. I mean,
good
I am, it's on.
Listen, and Tyler was trying to butter me up. Like, as soon as I hopped on the thing, he's just like, Mark, you're looking so good today. And listen,
know.
Tyler, I am above bribery.
I speak the truth, Mark. You know that. I speak the truth.
All right, Emily, as reigning champ, you get to decide who goes first. Who would you like to step into the ring first?
Oh, let Tyler go first.
Tyler, you're up. What do you got for me?
Okay, Mark, look, this is right up your alley, all right? I'm just going to give you a couple of numbers to chew on while I bring this chart up, okay? How does an 80% chance of capturing a 50% return on investment sound to you?
It sounds like how I trade these days in this market. So
okay, look, I went deep. I said, let me find some. This is a hybrid company. They do Bitcoin mining and they rent out cars. Okay, just an obvious match here. And actually, just kidding. That's the next one. I don't know what Solo does. Okay, I just like their chart.
Solo actually does these little electric vehicle cars that they're the ugliest things. They remind me of Crocs shoes.
Oh, okay.
They're the electric vehicle as far as aesthetic appearances version of Crocs. They're ugly as can be. There's these little like a 2-seater electric cars. I believe they're based out of Canada. That's what I know about the company.
Okay. So my second pick is going to be my Bitcoin car rental place. Solo has a very pretty bull retracement pattern here, Mark. I'm going to tell you why I like it technically. Okay. Number one, it's in a hot space. We know the Wall Street loves electric vehicle stocks. Number two, it had this gorgeous high volume breakout bar here. And then lost a little bit of steam. That's okay. Had a 5-bar pullback. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 2 candles, you've got a couple of bottoming tails here showing we've had some intraday buying or intraday bullish reversals going off of this 20-day moving average. Also sitting in kind of a general prior resistance zone. And I really like the light volume. Not a lot of selling pressure here. I think this is a nice little trigger over today's high. You've got a good little risk reward. If you wanted to play it directional, feel free. But because it is an electric vehicle stock, it's got really juicy options. So you can go pretty far out of the money here, Mark, and get a really good return. So I was taking a look at the February options in Solo. You got 30 days out. You can sell a 20 delta put. That gives you about an 80% probability of max profit. You can get about 36 cents. Look, little 1 penny bid-ask spread, very liquid. This thing traded 1,100 contracts just today, so you got really good liquidity. You take a look at selling that at 36 bucks. They're only going to make you put up $60. That's your initial margin requirement. So you're making 36 bucks on 60. I misspoke, Mark. I said 50%. I meant 60%. You have an 80% probability of capturing a 60% return. And it's cheap. You don't got to put up a lot of capital.
Okay, we go to the February 5s and March of 5s and 6 and give me a look you see there.
You
Now,
want March?
Solo is a company I have been doing a naked puts, high volatility, cost average down plan on for 2-3 months. So I'm already in Solo for naked puts on February. Give me some March naked puts. Let me see what I'm looking at there.
March,
I
you're
get-
proud. I mean, dude, you go to 450 if you wanted to. Yeah, you're getting $43 at the 5 strike. That's about 100% return. That ain't bad. It's all right. It's all right.
Now, the thing about it is about these high volatility plays, I've been playing them with a specific strategy. I don't do too many of these. I do enough speculative plays where I have a cost average down. Now, nothing ever gets put right now. Now, that will change one day, right? So that's why you do a million of them. But I've had a detailed, laid out, high volatility plan on companies like this because the returns have just been too juicy. It's been working for months now. When it stops working, I'll stop doing it, but love it. I like the March 5s quite a bit. February 6th, if you're not, I'm already in February. Love to play. Just don't do too many of these plays is my only word of caution. You just don't want to have too many of these at once in case the market takes a sour note. Love it. Tyler, started off strong.
You want a joke?
You got an equally strong joke for me.
I do.
All right, let's hear it.
My wife told me I've grown as a person. Her actual words were, "You've gotten fat," but I know what she meant.
You've grown as a person. Tyler, you're looking pretty dapper there. I don't know about the joke. Now, once again, I'm a single guy. One of the reasons I don't have my beanie on tonight, I got plans tonight. So that's why, I only wear beanie when I'm doing work. The joke so-so. Love the trade. Hey, Emily, Tyler brought a strong one. Nice cash flow trade. Still in some of your thunder, perhaps. But you're the reigning champ. There's a reason you're champ is you brought some good, solid picks last week. What do you got for me?
Let's see if I can win
one.
over. All right. 84% probability of cash flowing. I'll give you a choice. You can either do 14% if you want to be a little bit aggressive, or I could give you 12% cash flow on Nike. So let's pull up a Nike. And the reason I like Nike, first of all, is we're past earnings. So we don't have to worry about earnings like we have with a lot of stuff that's coming up, obviously because we're in earnings season. So I like Nike because we're past earnings. Had a nice little pullback, found support right at that 140 range. Nice little green candle today, closed above those moving average. So I like it for a little bounce back. I've got a bull put spread for you. Tyler, if you don't mind going to the Feb 19s. And give me the 135, 130. That will give you a 14% ROI. If you put it on the chart and if you analyze that for me and draw the lines on the chart, you're right at that support zone. So if you're not that comfortable with that, if you feel like you want to give yourself a little bit more cushion, we can go a little bit further down and sell the 133, 128, Tyler. We'll get a little bit less premium. We'll get 49 cents and bring that ROI down to 12%, but we're giving ourselves a little bit more cushion.
All right. And whenever I do analysis on naked puts, I always want to get below the 20 weekly on these type of cash flow plays. 20 weekly right now is at 132. That will climb, so I'm below that. Probably below that even on the 135 at the rate of ascension is going right now in 4.5 weeks. Trade management techniques. What would you do here, Emily? What's your get out point? What's your personal trade management here?
Get out point obviously is if it touches the strike price, whether it's the 135 or the 133. I'm looking for this to run and give me a pop back at that 147 level. So for a quick cash flow, if it does gain some steam and get back up to that high. So yeah, just looking to get out of it if it does touch my strike prices, and targeting that 147 as my target there. But hopefully we can get there. You can get there in a few days and be able to cash flow and recycle, rinse and repeat that bad boy if we're able to.
What do you guys think about also a directional trade here? I mean, we have a classic retracement, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, classic retracement. Volume was kind of light today on the upward candle. I mean, everything in the market was up, right? I mean, Tyler, what do you think about a directional play here?
I mean, if I had brought up Nike, I totally would have went with the directional play. I major misstep here, I think. Well,
I was trying to win him over on the cash flow. I would probably go direction too, but I'm talking to Mark.
I'm just messing. Yeah, ball's low. I mean, look, you could definitely go directional on this. See, I feel like we're too beholden to Mark here. When we present these things,
listen.
we're trying to get in Mark's head and say which one would really, you know, tickle his curiosity. But certainly, yes, I think a directional play could work too.
All right, nice solid B pick. What do you got, Emily? What do you got for me?
Oh, dad joke. All right. Why don't crabs give to charity?
Why don't crabs give to charity?
Because they're selfish.
Well, I'm leaning Tyler on the first trade, but I definitely giving Emily the joke. I like that one.
Listen, I spend more time looking for the dad jokes than I do the trade setups. I know how to win this game. So
round two, Tyler, what do you got?
All right, she brought up a retail stock. I'm gonna stick with the retail theme here. XRT has been very hot. This is the retail ETF, perhaps the strongest ETF in the sector perhaps the strongest sector ETF in the market right now. I really like this recent ramp by Bed Bath & Beyond. Bed Bath & Beyond. Big pop after earnings. Really good volume coming in this. I think this breakout is legit. I think it sticks. When I see a high volume breakout, I'm usually on the lookout for a secondary pattern, like a bull retracement, like a breakout. I want to be a buyer of the next consolidation. You got a little bull flag going here, Mark. I really like the drop in volume. Again, the concept here is everybody piling in on up days, not a lot of people departing on down days. That's a sign of a healthy trend. It's a sign of a trend that's likely to continue. This is a cheap stock at 25 bucks. And you could go directional, but you could also get some pretty good returns on some cash flow plays if you think that the breakout sticks. So I was looking at selling some puts in February down around, I believe I was looking at the 21 strike, getting about 50 bucks, 52 bucks. Your margin requirement's 200. So you're making about a 25% return-ish. And I'm down here around, what did I say, 21? You could even go to 20 and get a decent return as well. So for me to be wrong, this entire breakout has to fail and the next dip not get bought. I like this even better if you give me another red bar, but you know, you're 3 bars into this, it could pop. So again, I like the bull flag, naked puts, good ROI. That's the way I'd play it.
No, and I would like that even better if you know, because once again, if you had like another couple days, let's say we're looking at this on Friday and you've petered off a little bit. You've had a couple outstanding trades on ramp up, low volume on the way down over the last 5-6 weeks. So whenever you say those words, I really get excited about the possibilities. I mean, and I don't have any exposure to the retail. And talk about retail just for a second. Because I like to diversify my trades where I have, you know, I'm not going to do all electric vehicle plays, and I'm not going to do all solar plays, and I'm not going to do all of any one play. And I don't have a single retail play right now, not a single retail. Why is retail hot right now? What is the mega theme behind retail being hot right now?
I think it's the same theme as any reopening play, just growth. The economy's reopening, pent up demand. If this stimulus bill goes through, do you know how much money Biden's going to deposit in your bank account? People are going to spend that, right? I mean, the people that get these stimulus checks generally aren't those that save and invest. They're those who need the money to spend, and they're going to go spend it. They're going to go buy crap, and that's good for retail. So I think that's the thing.
Am I going to have to put Bed Bath & Beyond back on my watch list? I am.
It's a sexy chart, Mark.
It is, and once again, I mean, bring up the Peloton short-term trade from a few weeks ago, because that low volume, and once again, we are traders. We're not investors. We don't, necessarily hit big moves. But talk about the volume up, pullback, ramp, and why it works.
Well, yeah, I think it works because it shows you what if the street has bought in or not, right? When you get a bunch of volume, it's like an exclamation point. It adds legitimacy, it adds validity, it makes it more likely that whatever is happening is going to last. When you think about institutions, the phrase that we use with a high volume update is accumulation. And when you think about it, I don't really accumulate shares because I don't have a massive bankroll. I buy once, Mark, and I'm done. Well, that's because I'm not managing billions and billions and billions of dollars. Institutions, they can't buy all at once because they're too big. And so what they tend to do is they buy over time, i.e. they accumulate. And the assumption is if they're starting to buy, they may continue to buy because it is a process for them, not an event. And so the tell is you get the high volume updates that tells you it's on the radar of institutions. If they bought this upswing, they're likely to buy the next one and the next one. And it just acts as kind of it acts as just a lifting bid underneath the stock price because I know institutions are net buyers right now. So that's really what makes it interesting. And then the fact is when we pull back, the fact that you don't have a bunch of volume means that all those people who bought on the way up, they're not abandoning ship, they're sticking with it. And if they're not done buying, they're likely to buy the next dip, because that's what's just smart and makes sense. So high volume on a breakout on a ramp, low volume on the pullback. It doesn't have to work. I mean, certainly, things happen, but when it comes to the ideal environment, the ideal confirmation from volume, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, and I'm going to wait a couple days for that 9 to catch up on Bed Bath & Beyond, but that has the workings of a nice cash flow trade above support, a nice directional setup, get a little pullback and then an up candle. Definitely has that. I'm going to wait a couple days on that, but I love the general setup. I think it's a really good one, especially if you don't have any retail exposure right now. People spend those stimulus, and whether they do or not, Wall Street believes they're going to spend stimulus checks. So really like it. Really like it. All right.
Let me improve on this joke, I think, hopefully. What did the nut say when it was chasing the other nut?
What did the nut say when it was chasing the other nut?
I'm going to cash you. I'm going to cash you.
I obviously like the shellfish cashew. I like, there's something obviously that works with my sense of humor. That's a joke I can tell my kids. And then, of course, my kids, what's cashew? And then I have to explain it.
You have to explain what it is.
But all right, 2 solid picks. Hey, Emily, already against the wall. Tyler bringing his A game.
I see.
Round 2 for you.
Round 2 for me. Give me a chart on CBOE, please. I like the pullback on CBOE. We're starting to see, some candles bringing it back up there. Looking to target that 102.50 level right there where it hit before. I like it that we have increasing volume on those green candles. So if you look at the volume down there, we are seeing that volume increasing on that. Looking for a quick directional trade because we do have earnings coming up, but it's still within my range of it's within that 15 days. So I'm still looking at this as a play. Looking to go directional on this and looking to do some bull calls. If you can give me the, let's see here what I had. If you can give me the March 19th and buy me the 97.5 and sell the 105. Cost is about $2.80 for a potential profit of 470. If you target that 102 price level, you're looking at about $1.50. If you take profit at 102, if you take profit there.
Now you probably have to take profit near a resistance with earnings
of course.
coming up, correct?
Yeah, with earnings coming up, that's definitely what you would target.
And you don't have, and where's your trigger?
My trigger is above today's candle. So tomorrow, if we get that momentum and increasing volume to the upside, that's where I trigger.
Guys, I'm trying to quick little hitter, finance. I see it. I see it. Now, since I'm only going to be in, let me play devil's advocate here. Since I'm only going to be in the trade at the most a week and a half, 2 weeks. Is there anything else I could do? Because I'm not going to hold through March with earnings coming up. And when is the earnings day? Do we know that?
Earnings, I believe I saw February 5th or February 3rd. Let me see here. Let me look on my chart.
That sounds right. It should be.
Yeah, it's February 5th.
So, do we have any opposition to doing just a call here if we're trying to capture straight?
We could do a call, but I'm always trying to go as inexpensive as I possibly can. So I always look for bull calls first. But yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with anybody doing a straight call.
You could switch to Fab monthly too. You could just do a shorter term bull call if you want a quicker resolution. Yep.
All right. Good deal. What you got joke for me, Emily?
Oh, joke. All right. Don't laugh. How do cats like their steaks?
How do cats like their steaks?
Rare.
Was that supposed to be the cat meowing too?
Yeah, exactly. Rare.
Yeah. Well, as a cat lover, and I do love my cats, I appreciate that very much. All right, round 3. Before we get started, listen, we do trade setups in a group setting every week, and we bring them to our members at tackletrading.com, and we put those collective groups. We have this type of conversation with Tyler and Matt and Tim and Gino and myself and Emily and Greg and all of the coaches. And then we debate and we say, no, yes. And collectively, we bring our best picks every week in our scouting reports. And if you want to check out those scouting reports every weekend and you're not a pro member, sign up for the 15-day free trial. Go to the store tab at the top of tackletrading.com in the little menu. Sign up for a 15-day free trial. You can check out those scouting reports every week. All right, Tyler, round 3, what you got?
All right, I'm going with the diversification theme here, and I'm going to give you a dividend player. If you get assigned, you get a lock in a nice 3.5% dividend. This is a name brand Fortune 500 company, and it's pretty oversold. I think it's time to maybe start bottom fishing on this. So let's take a look at Coca-Cola. If you look at the daily chart here, it's been out of favor. Maybe it's been out of favor because interest rates have been going up a little bit. But if there's one thing we've learned in this bull market, it's that eventually everything gets dragged higher, right? It's just a matter of when, right? So percentage-wise, this thing has gone from about 55 down to about 48 and change. Let's just call it a $7 drop. It's about 13% off the highs. Okay, about 13% off the highs. I'm coming into some support levels around 48, 47. And I want to sell some puts out here, Mark. Looking to sell some out of the money puts into February. I don't mind holding through earnings because A, this thing barely moves on earnings, and B, I'm a willing buyer at lower prices anyways. So if you take a look, you go into February, and I was looking at like the 46.50 strike, getting about 52 bucks is your midpoint. If you get assigned, you're going to be long the stock around 46, which is another $2.50 lower.
Now, what strike price did you say again?
46.50. Got a delta around 25. And you're going to have to do higher deltas when you're doing stuff on boring staple stocks. It's just the way it goes. So if I take a look at the chart, my break even at expiration is going to be around 46. So I've got a pretty healthy margin of error here. The ROI is not going to be as epic as Solo, but it is $52 on 751.
Listen, not everything can be a SPAC EV solar company.
Right.
Like you don't, I mean, seriously, and I play a lot of those plays. You can't have your whole portfolio there, or else
Yeah.
you are susceptible to some really nasty swings.
Right. Right. Well, and this is a company where, if I get put to it, it's just a matter of time until I make my money back, and I can dollar cost average and sell covered calls. They're just so much more you can do on this. Some of those SPACs, they fall out of favor, and you don't know if they're going to come back at all. So 7% return, Mark, 30-day trade. If I get assigned, I'm long Coca-Cola with a 3.5% dividend yield. I think I can sell covered calls and make my money back. So lower octane trade here, but I'm getting an itchy trigger finger with as oversold as this is.
Now, and so what about 3.5% at that level? If you put, that's what I always calculate on the dividend, right?
Yep.
Is nice boring play. Listen, a percentage, and this is one of the things you'll learn in time, is that you want a percentage of your portfolio to be boring.
Yep.
But still making you money. And that's where that dividend portion of your portfolio can come into play. And and I think Coca-Cola benefits from a lower dollar. I mean, they do a lot of international overseas plays. A lot of their revenue comes from overseas. I think they benefit from an lower dollar. I don't worry as much about earnings. I mean, at that price level, you're getting the same price all the way back to 2015.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing is from a long-term perspective, this doesn't seem like it's been a bad price to pick up some shares of Coca-Cola. I think over time you make money.
Listen,
otherwise, you make the 7% return this month and you move on.
And that's probably the most likely scenario, right?
Yeah.
My cat just went. What did my cat just do, Emily?
Rare.
My cat literally there was a tray of brownies and knocked it off the kitchen counter. But unfortunately for her, it landed right, so she can't get into them. All that work for no effort. All right, I really like it, especially if you don't have, a portion in dividend. That boring section seems pretty reasonable. You're getting at that price back in the range from April, May, June as well.
Yep.
I mean, right, anything could go longer, but that seems like it's a stable play. Nice, solid. What do you got for me? Was your round 3 joke?
Yeah, so this morning I tripped over my wife's bra. It was a booby trap.
All right, Emily, round 3, what you got for me?
All right, I'm going to go dividend pair as well, and I'm going to go with DKS, Dick's Sporting Goods. It's on Taco 25. It was on the list last year and continued to be on the list this year, so I love it for covered calls. I actually brought this up. I can't remember. I think it was on the halftime report on January 5th as a cover call potential.
You did.
Did I? I think I did. I think I did.
And now here it is. Show, yep.
Yeah, here it is, high basing again. So if you missed that last pop, here you are with another opportunity. And I am looking to do covered calls on this bad boy here for a nice potential 5.37% ROI. If you're using a margin account, that is. If we look to sell the Feb, no, not the Feb, but the March 70 calls, we can pick up a potential $1.80. Yeah, stick with the Feb actually, Tyler, sorry. My bad. 30 days out. And if we sell the $70, it's right at that 40 delta. I like to give myself a little bit more wiggle room. So I like to go outside of 40, pick up $1.80 on that. And if you're using this on margin, you're looking at a good 5.37% ROI. If it does get to that strike price and you hit the appreciation, that's another $3 on appreciation. So yeah, I love this for either as just a covered call or even as a boomerang trade where you can just rotate in and out of this, all day long until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
All right, so this has a really nice setup. This is my favorite of your trades yet. I got a really nice setup. That rising 9, which Tyler's going to get docked a point for not having that on his chart.
I just wait. I just like to have you ask for it. I just wait.
All right. So we got that rising 9 acting as that support bounce, right? This trade setup we have seen. Listen, it is a classic trade setup in my world. You run up, you take a breather, the 9 catches off, you bounce off it. So where do you get in here? I mean, we can covered call at any point. Do we wait for the breakout before the covered call is the $1 million question I have in my head. And what I mean by that, if you don't understand my lingo, either if you're new, is like we wait for signals most of the time before we do our trades. You know, like a breakout of resistance before we get in, we usually wait for that breakout. Do we wait for the breakout before we do the covered call? That's my $1 million question right now.
When I do cover calls, I sometimes will front line. I will jump ahead of time, and based on the pattern and what we've seen with DKS, for me, and because I know how to manage it, I probably wouldn't. But if you are a conservative trader, then definitely wait for the breakout. You can wait for the breakout, and then you can trigger in. But for me, I would already have a covered call on DKS, but that's me.
All right. So trade management. I mean, is this a stock that you're willing to add more of if it goes down? Do you call her good at a certain? I mean, how are you managing yours personally? Because you were dead on the play. What was it? A couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
on
it was a
this
couple
company?
weeks ago. Yeah, I
Like,
actually gave myself a little bit more. I always try to give myself more wiggle room. If it's a bullish stock and it's giving me that, I'll give up a little bit of the cash flow just so I can give myself
I
the
mean,
wiggle room so
you
that I don't
nailed
have to
this trade when
manage
you're
it.
on the halftime report. You killed it on it. So you definitely got my attention. Listen, listen, when I could have made money but didn't listen to you one time, shame on me. And if I don't do it the second time, double shame on me. So, I mean, would you get out of it? Like, I mean, are you playing it as a trade covered call? Are you playing it as a position where you're willing to add
Yeah,
more, write it up?
so when I brought this up the last time, we had this discussion, and I said, if you're doing this as a trade, then you can just shoot for the ROI and just get out, have your stop loss the way you would normally have a stop loss on a swing trade and get out. If you're doing this as a long-term investment, then look at the weeklies and find support on the weeklies, add on more shares if you're planning on adding more. But it just depends on how you're playing it. But for this one here, because we have earnings coming up, it's a quick trade, so I would definitely look to have a stop loss if it did break a support level of mine. But this is, it's just a quick in and out, cash flow, get out and rinse and repeat.
I also on the breakout like the Mark 75s, which also give you $200 on a breakout for a position trade. I always also like that. All right, Emily, round 3, joke. What do you got for me?
Okie dokie. Why do women have a difficult time working for the post office?
Why?
Because it's male dominated.
I can't believe I haven't heard that joke before. That's a good one.
I won't say who gave me that one, but I got that one from somebody. If I win tonight, do not blame me. If I win because of that, Tyler, you're gonna feel really bad, aren't you?
No, you know what? You deserve it. That was good.
All right. Caught up a little bit there, Emily. I still got Tyler ahead, but I really liked that setup, and I didn't make money the last time, so I hate myself for that. 2 more rounds, though. Lots of time left. 2 more rounds. Round 4, Tyler, what do you got?
I got Target. We'll stick with retail. This had a really, really good run at the beginning of the year. Just impressive. And about a week ago, I thought, if Target pulls back, I missed the initial breakout, or at least the first one in 2021. Give me a pullback to the 20 MA or something, then I'm interested. I like the volume on the ascent as well. And lo and behold, you got a nice little 3-bar pullback coming here. And we're sitting right at the 20-bar moving average, or 20-day, I don't know why I said bar, 20-day moving average. I like today's candlestick. This is a potential reversal candle. You got a nice lower wick there. Again,
a clean bounce off the 20 too.
Yeah. Well behaved, right? I mean, that's one of the things you like to see when you're swing trading is I want a well-behaved stock that respects technical levels, that's responsive to these potential support and resistance levels. When that's in its history, when that's its reputation, it makes it easier to take future trades. So just a very clean bull retracement. Now this, I think you could trade this any really way you want. I think you could do some put spreads, but volatility is not that high right now. The IV rank is pretty low. So I actually like doing a little, maybe buy the 190 call, sell the 200. You could use 200 as your target. Just look for a little bounce back up to the 200 mark. And you could do Feb if you want quick resolution. Using March options would be a little bit more conservative. But if you take a look at the pricing here, the February, you're paying $3 to make 7. You go out to March, and you're paying $370 to make 630. So both of them have pretty good risk rewards. But again, the Fed's going to be a little bit more aggressive because you get quicker resolution. I like both of those.
I mean, that's pretty. I mean, I love clean bounces off moving averages. It shows me that there's no fear at all, that the algos bought it up like that to the penny. And when I see those clean bounces, I definitely raise. Plus, it's a retail play. I'm sure. Listen, you guys, for a trader that didn't have any retail play, you got me Dick's Sporting Goods and Bed Bath and Target. I got all kinds of choices to make a play in retail, and I definitely want to. I love it. Give me a joke.
I don't know if I told you this, Mark. Last year, my wife and I were on vacation, and I was kidnapped by a group of mimes. They did unspeakable things to me.
Joke's pretty strong tonight, everyone. The jokes are pretty strong tonight.
Oh, man.
I'm going to like that the more and more I think about it.
Let it simmer a little bit.
A bunch of unruly mimes doing unspeakable things. Round 4. Emily, what you got?
Oh man. All right. I don't know if I can top that, but I will do my best. That was funny. PayPal, if you don't mind, please.
Notice
Tyler.
how Emily said on top of that, she didn't care about your great target trade. She's like, God, that was a good joke. Dang it.
Yeah, I told you.
That's all she cares about. No, who cares about the trades?
I spend more time looking for dad jokes than I do trade setups. So if you don't like the setups, it's okay. I'm looking for the dad jokes. But yeah, give me PayPal. I love PayPal on this breakout here at 250. Has had a nice run, as you can see. We've had it on our options report for quite some time. So hopefully you've had this on your watches and on your radar, and you have been catching this movement. But if you've missed it, here's another chance. Looking to get in at above 250. It's bouncing off of Mark's girlfriend, the 9. So I'm looking for yet again another quick trade because we do have earnings coming up. So this is for me when I'm trading higher price stocks. I always try to go for the bull call setups, or maybe even try to do a bull put on this one, either or. But if I'm looking for it to break out above 250, I'm looking for it to do a quick pop to either 255, 260, because this is an all-time high for PayPal. So I would probably look to do a directional play on this one. If you pull up the bull puts for me for March, Tyler, I'm going to give myself a little bit more room, even though I'm not going to be in it, past earnings. I plan to just give myself more time on the options there, and I'm buying the 250, selling the 260. Puts me in at about 350-ish, and if I'm targeting that PayPal is a big move. It's got a huge ATR of about $7.68 ish or so with the ATR. So even if you look to double that ATR, you could probably get up there at that 264, 262 level. There is where I would probably target with that, and get a nice little pop and get out before earnings. Stop loss right at the moving.
Now, when is earnings?
Support. Earnings, I think, is also February 5th or 3rd. February 3rd.
Yep.
So let's say you get in and it doesn't move. All right, let's speak hypothetically. Get a little bit of move, but then it just meanders for 3-4 days, doesn't do much. There's no follow through on the breakout. you get out with earnings so
Yeah.
close?
I get out. I definitely be out the day, the week of earnings. So it's I think February 3rd is like what a Tuesday or something like that. I'll be out that week. I think it's on a Wednesday. So if it hasn't done much, I'm definitely out by that Monday or Tuesday, and just wait for earnings to come out. And if it's still in play, then I'll put it back on my watch list and trade it again. But definitely out before earnings.
And you definitely trigger in above 250 here,
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely.
There's no question. You got to break that
Gotta
psychological
wait for the
barrier
trigger above
resistance.
250. You
All right,
got
good
it.
deal. All right. Can you beat a bunch of unruly mimes in your joke?
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can, but you guys are gamers. You like playing video games, right?
This is a true story.
Yep.
All right, so you have to get this answer right. What are Mario and Luigi's pants made out of?
What are
Denim,
Mario?
denim, denim. Denim, denim, denim.
That
Oh,
was good. That was good.
that brings. I like that. Listen, I got a lot of history with old Mario Brothers, but we'll save those stories for another day.
For
All
another
right,
day.
final round. Tyler, are you about to regain your belt here? We don't.
I hope so. Look, I'm going to go for the jugular here. I am going to appeal to your greed. I'm going to get you a 95% chance of a 40% return. Even
Wow.
by EV SPAC standards, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is that. Okay, so I was reading up. I'm like, what do these guys do? And this is the most, I don't know, random explanation of what a company does. Bit Digital is a Bitcoin mining company. It is also engaged in a car rental business. Is there some
They're also
synergy there?
unionizing. Listen, they're based in facilities based in China. They rent cars. They're also opening some movie theaters, maybe, right? They're unionizing memes. All right. So this is a pure spec play since we don't even know what they do. But okay, first of all, as somebody who follows these type of companies quite a bit, these patterns of these big sell-offs, they never seem to hit the bottom. Now, one day that will change, right?
Yeah.
One day that will change where they'll hit the bottom. But until that does, I'll keep playing them. So I already like this setup. The big run up, sell off. I already like the setup. I've been trading this stuff for 3 straight months.
So I want to give myself a good margin of error, and you nailed the setup. It's a pullback to the 20 MA. That this is a 50% retracement in one pound swing.
Listen. I love these markets. Are you kidding?
So I say, okay, let me go sell some put out of the money, and I take a look at the 5 delta. Okay, 5 delta. So I got a 95% probability of profit. I could sell this thing for $30. Yeah, I'll sell it for $30. They'll make me put up $75. Okay, so I'm making a 40% return on my initial margin. And if I take a look at 750, I'm down here. When my break even's basically 7. So I'm effectively wagering it's going to stay above 750 for the next 30 days.
Well, and once again, I know the concept of high volatility cost average down plays is new, right? Like we've never had so many volatile stocks in the market at one time. Can you think of any time where we've had this many volatile stocks in an uptrend?
Not this many. Like it's like they took all the bank stocks and they all trade the same now, right? Like this entire space is just crazy volatile.
And so you can do some really high return things. And once again, as somebody that this is what I do these days, exactly stuff like this. And I didn't have this company on my radar. I'm going to definitely, I'm curious to see. I also like the high volume on the way up, low volume on the way down a lot.
Well, and that's the thing is this isn't some like 500,000 share ticker symbol. I mean, this was trading 50 million shares a day, 75 million shares a day there for a little bit. Like, I mean, somebody was piling into these, you know.
No, and the pattern, once again, the pattern on this is something that I see all the time, where you have these big blow-offs. It's not sustainable, and then you have a big sell-off, and that is the norm. It is just the norm. The fact that it has such low volume, very intriguing. Really like this play. I do investigate the company because I want to know what they do, so I don't have any exposure too much to one thing. But so I am going to get a kick when I actually go investigate the company to see what percentage of their business is car rental.
It's almost like a money laundering mafia type thing. Like we got, you know, we got car rental in the front, we got Bitcoin mining in the back, you know. I'm a joke.
So talk me out of the March instead of the Februaries, because when I get the one thing when I've been doing stuff like this, my ROI on, I mean, when I get about 30 days out, I've already had serious bleed on these way out of the money ones, not so much on the at the money ones, but on the really out of the money ones.
Look, I mean, you'll get 100% return. Here's the thing: you do bring up a good point. If I'm shooting for $30, why don't I sell the March one for 85 and buy it back at 50 or 55? And because the 80-cent option going from 80 cents to 50, I can probably capture quicker than going from 30 cents to 0, because they're going to make me ride like really close to expiration. So I don't mind that at all.
And once again, there have been a lot of money made in this area of the market. I really do believe the key. I mean, one day it's all going to end, right? And you don't want to be on the short end and having nothing but a portfolio of spec plays like this playing volatility. If you do not have experience doing this, you need to paper trade this first. You need to think about plan. I took months and months and months, and I've been doing this a long time before I started instituting. A couple of these in your portfolio, enough to manage, enough that if it, you know, craps the bed, it's not a big deal, right?
Well, and these are low dollar stocks too. That makes it easier. We're not.
And it makes it easy to cost average down. It makes it easy to, but just don't have too many of them in your portfolio at any one time. You'll hear me say that from now until this whole market, this area of the market peters out and there's not the spec. But I love it for what I do. I love it a lot. Let's see if I love your joke.
Hey, why did the cows return to the marijuana field?
Why do the cows return to the marijuana field?
It was the pot calling the cattle back.
It's all right. It's all right. I like your meme joke a lot, though. That's I'm still laughing at that one. All right, final round, Emily. Final round.
Final round. Okay, let's take a look at Uncle Warren's company, Berkebee, please. All right, so this one here, we've had it on the options report, I believe, also for quite some time, waiting for this potential breakout at above that 236, 237 price point there. It's not a heavy mover. It's got an ATR of about $3. So I'm looking to do a potential cash flow trade on this one. Looking at some bull puts well below those support levels and those moving averages. So I'm looking to see if I can get some premium on that, even a little bit lower at that 225, maybe even 220. I like to give myself a lot of cushion. So if I can pick up some good premium down there, I will go ahead and throw one over. I was looking at, Tyler, if you don't mind, give me the Feb 19. And I'm going to do the $5 wide. So I'm going to do the 220 and sell the 220, buy the 215. Now, I learned this from you, Tyler. Whenever you're doing $5 wide, you want to try to pick up at least 25 cents. So it meets your criteria and mine. And got enough cushion down there. So I'm looking for this here. I was also looking, if I want to get a little bit aggressive, I could also do I could sell the 225 and buy the 220. Pick up 74 cents, but I always err on the side of giving myself some more cushion. So I'm gonna stick with the 220, 215 and pick up the 34 cents. And that will put me well below those moving averages and well below several support levels. And it's right there where it broke out when it had earnings the last time. I also like it because we've got quite a bit of ways before we have the next earnings. I think earnings for this one is in March. So we've got quite some time to cash flow on this little sucker right here, even if it doesn't move much in the next few weeks. What do you think, sir?
What about the breakout? Listen, I'll do that trade a million out of a million times. What about the breakout here?
Again, depending on the individual, you can wait for the breakout at 237. I
No,
probably
just playing the
would.
breakout.
Yeah, just playing the breakout. Yeah, you could play the breakout. Absolutely, you could play the breakout and go directional if you want to.
Tyler, will you give me a look at what those March bull call spreads cost me?
Mm-hmm. You're at 235. I mean, if you did a 235, 240, paying 220, I'd probably do a $10 spread here if you got the capital. And $4 for 6. You could go a little out of the money if you want to increase the risk reward, but it ain't bad. I mean, ATR $3, 245 is 3 ATRs away over a couple of months. That ain't
Too shabby.
ain't too shabby.
No, I like this setup for a lot. BRKB's treated us right lately, right? It's treated us right on the pullback,
Been clean.
breakout. The cash flow is a no-brainer for me. I don't have any cash flow in this area right now. Of course, I don't even know what area Berkshire is, right? It's everything.
Everything.
Yeah. So I love it. I love it. Listen, Emily, let me hear your joke.
All right, here it is. Last one. What did the drummer call his twin daughters?
No, who called his twin daughters? What was
what did the drummer call his twin daughters?
The drummer.
Mm-hmm,
what did the drummer call his twin daughters?
Mm-hmm. Anna 1, Anna 2.
Listen, I like your jokes better, Emily, but Tyler's regained the belt. Like he brought some diversified, just the target pullback for a directional trader. I love.
Listen, first of all, you didn't tell me who I was going up against. I thought I was going up against Cody. That's why I did not prepare as much on my setups, because I thought I was just going to kill Cody. If I had known it was Tyler, I would have done much work, because Tyler is one of my mentors. So I feel
don't let Cody watch this. Don't let Cody watch this. His ego can't handle it.
I mean, we got the solo play for high. You got two beautiful cost average down, high volatility, big naked puts. The Coca-Cola as a boring dividend naked put is beautiful. The target directional play, man, I mean, I like that a lot. Bed Bath & Beyond, you got it back on my watch list. Tyler, for many reasons, and no shame, Emily,
I don't mind losing to Tyler. If that's who I'm losing to, it is quite okay.
Tyler's tough. I mean, he just brings the heat.
He does.
That denim trade was my favorite, though, or the trade, the joke.
Tyler, final word as the new champ. Congratulations on regaining the belt.
Listen, I told Tim and Matt in the halftime report. My mom told me that I couldn't hit women, hit girls, but I said I'm throwing that all out the window tonight, and I'm bringing it. And there's nobody I'd rather smack than you, Emily.
Hey, you smacked me around pretty good, but again, I deserve it. It's from you. It's not a biggie. It's not a biggie at all. It's great.
But I am definitely interested in the Dick's breakout in Berkshire in many ways, and the catch. There's a lot of stuff there I like. I mean, listen. And once again, thank you, seriously, in all seriousness, thank you for taking the time, find these trade setups, the analysis to bring, because it's not just me, it's everybody else in our community. You give us stuff to think about. Now, I'm not going to do all 10, but I'm going to look tonight. I'm like, what do I like? What do I want to do? And I love that, because one of the hardest things in trading is all the prep work. We have busy lives, right? We got kids and responsibility and spouse and jobs and this and that, pulling out our time. And, that bird dogging that the coaches do for us in the scouting reports. And once again, if you're not a pro member, we put in a lot of work to try to find you the best setups and to make our scouting reports. Every single coach has to say, yes, I agree with that. And we do that for you every week. So sign up for a trial, check out those scouting reports along with everything else that we have at the store tab. Store tab, tackletrading.com. Go there to sign up for the trial. Emily, Tyler, thank you so much for your time tonight. Truly, genuinely appreciate it.
This was fun. I had fun.
Yeah, good job, Emily. That was fun.
And all right, and Tyler, congratulations. You pompous little arrogant snot.